So, as a lot of people say, triple down on your positives. Understand your strengths. But how can you do that? I'm talking from me, from my experiences, from my thoughts, from my perspective. How can you do that if you don't triple, double, quadruple, if you don't get down with your weaknesses? How else was I able to find out about myself? I didn't just push those weaknesses away. I had to embrace them and find out where are the positives within that weaknesses, or where are these weaknesses coming from, so that I can strengthen these weaknesses. So I wanted to talk about something, and I could feel myself, well, maybe I should be thinking like other people. And I went to sleep last night, and I woke up wee hours in the morning, and I said, well, let me just flat press my hair, take the flat presser and just flat press my hair, do something for myself, because I don't want to talk about this topic. I don't know how to talk about it, but I know I was thinking about it before I went to sleep, and when I woke up, it's still on my mind, of how people are, like the perfectly perfect people that are, like, I heard David Goggins talking about this morning, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to spit it out. I'm gonna try to talk about what was on my mind as he was explaining, because this is something how I be feeling too, like the totally religious people that point their finger, wave their wand, just, they can't deal with whatever they can't deal with. It's okay, that's who they are. But when it comes down to looking at other people and saying how wrong other people are, then that's when it becomes a problem, because nobody's bothering you, but you're constantly finding fault in other people, and like it was explained this morning, it's like you got the perfect body, you got the perfect job, you eat the perfect food, you use the perfect language, you have the perfect schooling, and just perfect, right? But it takes nothing but a perfect second, a perfect minute, a perfect snap at the finger to fuck with somebody else, to tear somebody else down, to show how unperfect someone else is in your eyes, from your way of perception, the way you are within, when you become a part of groupthink, or the way you feel as though society should be. All right, enough of that rambling. So what I wanted to talk about today is how recently I did a short, I clipped a short from an interview on The Outside, and the man, and some of us are so caught up into color. Some of us are so caught up into heterosexual versus homosexual. Some are so caught up into religionism, Baptist, Catholic, Methodist, Pentecostal, Muslim, Some of us are so caught up into status, how much money versus how much not money. Some of us are so caught up into, I don't do that. Why are you doing this or that? And if you are doing whatever you decide to do, why aren't you doing it my way? So this is just my perspective. My way of thinking is that in that one situation where I clipped the video, it was Don Lemon like doing an interview with a street interview out on the street with somebody. And he said, can I speak to you or can I interview you? Now, somebody with millions of subscribers, the way they interpreted it and the way they did their reactions to it, I was like, should I be thinking like that? Because I totally think opposite. Not totally opposite, but I hear where he's coming from in his side of the way his reactions were. But my thing was, I was zoned in on the phrase where the person that he was interviewing, as soon as he said, man, you think you know something. You think you're so good that you know everything, or you just think you're something like that. And so my perspective, my thing on that, from my experience, it got to me because I have had these words spew at me in different situations, whether it be the workplace, whether it be intimate relationships, various different relationships in various different ways, right? And I was like, but then to listen, I was like, but should I be listening to somebody with millions of followers that say they didn't even touch that topic at all? At all. They didn't mention how he tried to be, they mentioned that he called him a jerk, an asshole, a fool, damn, I can't think of the word. It's a word he used. He used a word saying you're I'm gonna just use asshole right now because I'm not gonna stop and look it up. And then for example, and so they focused on that part, but then they mostly focused on the actions of how Don Lemon got offended and he gave it back to him, the same word that he gave to him, but then he interacted a bit longer than most people say they would have, and wanted to question him of why would you be so disrespectful to people, blah 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 blah. And I can understand, okay, the millions of followers reactions to that, and I started thinking to myself, I've learned radical acceptance. People are going to be people. I mean, back in the day, when somebody come to me like that, my personality, I would let it go, or I would just flat out curse them out, give it back to them and curse them out. Something like that. But they never did touch on, when somebody tell you, you think you something. You think you all that. You think you bigger than, the world. Not the world, but like, who do you think you are? Deal, right? And it's like, if somebody said that to me, what am I not supposed to think? Just like he said, what am I not supposed to think I am somebody? I'm supposed to keep putting you up on a pedestal and praising you and, you know, making you go higher and higher and higher, and not look at myself and say that I am somebody. I don't know. I do know, but it doesn't feel good to me. And it's like, it seems like it's so easy to get into group thought and not think for oneself, especially if we are into color, where everything is color, everything is politics, everything is, I don't like gay people, or I don't like straight people, everything is, you got to be a certain religion, everything is, either you got a negative bank account or you got a positive bank account overflowing, everything is. So, I don't know. That's my little tantrum today. Is definitely going to be a random thought because it's no substance in it, and I just wanted to brain dump that today and get it out. Like, it's so easy to go to group thought, to the way the majority thinks, because we may feel a little something about somebody, you know what I'm saying, and not look at the whole picture and every different aspect of it. That's it. Peace. Have a good day.